I think, Jeff, that one of the things that have paralyzed a lot of men, and you may agree or disagree, and if you do, that's fine. Uh, I don't equivocally believe in, people use the word partner. I don't believe that, and I'm gonna tell you why. I believe in the old school. I'm from the old school. I don't know how old your father is, but your dad might be a couple years older than me.
Mhm.
But this new term partner, I heard it when I was at UNC Chapel Hill, and I'm like, well, what is a partner? Partner. And so you talk about this Marxist ideology that's been permeating, and that Marxist ideology, Jeff, actually came from the egalitarian concept.
Mhm.
So I don't believe in partner because partner, in my opinion, compromises the sovereignty of a man in his home. I believe in a husband and wife dynamic because I tend to see things through the Judeo-Christian worldview. That's how I tend to see things. When you say partner, you're basically saying that she's the same as you. And partner, in my opinion, is tied to the paranoid persecution or the schema affliction that many women have, because that schema is tied to some type of irrational or rational pain or fear that may or may not exist. But when you say husband and wife, there's a clear delineation of who is the power broker in that relationship and who will more or less capitulate or more or less respond to who the leader is. Now, listen, it doesn't mean that if Jeff is the husband, that Jeff don't say, baby, I like your point of view, and we'll just flow with that because I like that. That makes sense. I don't have a problem with that. But when you start saying partner more or less is this separation of power where she can lead and you can lead and you both consult one another. Whereas with a husband and wife dynamic, you're the husband, she's the wife. It doesn't mean she doesn't have a voice. It doesn't mean that sometimes you don't listen to her. But all roads run through Jeff.
Mm.
What do you think about that?
That's a great personal preference for you.
Right.
The issue is not everybody's a Christian, not everyone's religious, and not everyone views what they mean by husband, wife, partner, and the same definitions that you do. So for an example, there's people who believe in we use that term interchangeably because we have the same mutual respect for each other.
Right.
There's people who I'll give an example. I can use them interchangeably and it won't change anything. The reality is, it's actually what's most important is not the particular titles that are used in a particular culture or setting at a given time. It's actually the heart and mindset and approaches to the relationship, regardless of, irrespective of where they were born, where they live. So as an example, calling somebody a husband or calling somebody a wife or saying somebody's the head, one man, when they hear husband, leader, head, he sees this as an excuse to be abusive. Another man that calls himself those same things, refers to himself in the same way, sees himself as an opportunity to be a leader, and in a way in which the Christian orthodoxy approaches what it means to be the head of a household, to be sacrificial, to die to self, to be like Christ was for the church, and always be willing to sacrifice on his behalf of his partner. So they can use the same titles and have two totally different mindsets about the application of what that looks like. What's far more important is the heart, the mentality, and the motivating factors for the partner, husband, wife, leader, helpmate, whatever you want to call it. We have people who are faking and pandering in these podcast spaces, calling themselves and pandering and marketing themselves as if they are being super conservative or ultra religious. And then when they get behind closed doors, they're the exact opposite.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that, but I'm not like that.
Yeah.
Right,
so
but
in
I do agree.
reality,
I
I'm
agree with
not. I don't get too lost in the semantics. I want more context when I hear people describe. Listen, if you say he's my husband or she's my wife, and you two are abusing each other or destroying each other emotionally, that title's not saving you. That moniker is not helping you, right? It's actually about the lived experience of what you're doing and what you're applying with that title. So there are individuals who will use these terms interchangeably, and they have a very healthy view and understanding of each other. And for some people, particularly when they're in certain settings where they don't know people and they're not super familiar with people, they feel more comfortable using the term partner. Whereas when it's people that they're more familiar with, friends, family, regular coworkers who they do life with, that's my husband, that's my girlfriend, that's my boyfriend kind of thing. So that's why I'm like, I don't personally get super in the weeds with that type of stuff. Again, the titles are great. They can help with distinction, but usually the people who get caught up the most in those they're not always as focused on and caught up in the actual actions and behaviors they need to follow.